In this Circuits of the Past video, we'll be showing you a track walk along the abandoned Circuit de la Zenne in France. Let's start our lap on the main straight. Circuit de la Zenne was a permanent circuit in the northwest of France, near the city of Lille. It wasn't a racing circuit and was only accessible for motorcyclists to test their driving skills and drive at speeds that are not allowed on the public roads. Because the circuit wasn't for racing, it didn't have a real start-finish straight, and there's no pit boxes either. However, there is a main straight, and that's where we'll take our track walk from today. A kind of pit lane to enter and exit the track is here too. And it's right around here where they would enter the track. The circuit had several different configurations. The main configuration was the 1.9 kilometres or 1.18 mile long outer loop, which is what we're going to walk in this video. This loop could be divided into two smaller circuits by means of two connections in the centre of the track. Feeling somewhat like a scalextric circuit that you could configure how you want, you could also combine the outer loop with some of those interconnections in the middle to create a longer layout, and there was also a motocross track in the middle for motorbikes in the infield. Motorcyclists could buy a yearly pass and get access to the track with their street legal motorcycles on days that it was open. This, unsurprisingly, caused a dangerous mix of fast and slow motorcycles and experienced and unexperienced drivers, and no doubt some hotheads too. One of the more interesting characteristics of this layout is the fact that the circuit contained loads of long right-hand corners, and this obviously would cause the tyres to wear faster on the right-hand side than on the left. Motorcyclists solved this by flipping and turning their tyres around every 2 or 3 track days. Frugal friends. Although the circuit wasn't close to residential areas, the mayor claimed he received many noise complaints. Oh yes, that one's going to rear its head here too. And that's why he would work on closing the circuit. In addition, more and more stringent requirements were placed on the circuit that just simply couldn't be met, and all this resulted in its closure in 2019. Since then, Circuit de la Zenne has been left abandoned since. To prevent illegal racing, or driving in this case, the track has been filled with rubble. The bridge in front is where Herman entered the track to film this track walk, but more on that later. The gravel path on the right is where Herman entered the track. On June 8, 2023, Herman visited the abandoned Circuit de la Zenne. Herman is the founder of the Circuits of the Past website and YouTube channel. He does all the exploring of the abandoned circuits and films all the footage. I'm Simon Smith, I voice over the videos and have my own YouTube channel called High Plane Games. As you can see, Herman had to try and find his way between all of this rubble to get around the track itself. Like every good explorer, before he set off, Herman carefully studied the area with Google Maps to see how he could get to the circuit. He discovered a narrow path between the circuit and a golf course. But when he arrived at the circuit, it turned out to be really well fenced, with a sturdy fence. foiled again. The circuit was also a lot lower down the path. So, if there was an opening in the fence at all, it was still a dangerous climb to actually get onto the circuit and back again. Maybe not Lara Croft that we thought you were. Fortunately, Herman, after walking about 3/4 of the way round the track, discovered a narrow overgrown path that led its way inside. He entered the infield via the bridge that we just saw and was then able to get into the circuit itself via that gravel path. After this track walk, Herman also took the drone to flight over the abandoned circuit itself too. You can see this video on the Circuits of the Past YouTube channel too. Here Herman turns the camera around to the left. In the background you'll be able to see on the higher part that there's a collection of trees, and that's the long hiking path that Herman took to try and get around the track before he could find a way in. So, if you fancy taking some sandwiches and a picnic, that's the route you're going. Here you can see the connection that divides the circuit into two smaller tracks. The section you see here is known as Piff Paff, a long series of turns that got slower and slower. You'll also see here the other connection, which could create a shorter circuit from this part. Both short versions of the circuit could be used at the same time. This is the last corner of the Piff Paff series. As you can see, it's another long right-hander. We're now almost back on the main straight again. On the left hand side, you'll be able to see where the motorcyclists could exit the track. Here's another bridge that goes over the track. Here you can also see the mast of power lines that cross over the track. This made doing the drone footage quite tricky, so Herman had to fly up really high so we didn't make sure it crashed into any of those power lines and had a very sad end to the day. So, don't forget, watch that drone footage. It seemed to have been a bit of an effort to get it. Shortly after this bridge, you'll be able to see on the right hand side the connections for the shorter versions of the circuit. As we said, that could also be combined to make that longer version possible too. Then they turned right here, making use of those connections, but before they entered the other side of the track, they turned left and then returned shortly back before the first corner of the outer loop. We saw that point right at the beginning of the video. So with that, we say au revoir, mon ami, from the Circuit de Lausanne. I hope you enjoyed this urban exploring video of the abandoned circuit. If you love this stuff just as much as we do, then please do subscribe to this channel to get more in your subscription feed. Click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on our next videos as well. Don't forget, we've also got a website where you can download a free ebook about 7 abandoned circuits that you can visit legally, and that's circuitsofthepast.com. Leave Herman to do the illegal stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video.